And we are off for episode 25, Bowser,
Hell
of the
yeah.
Run for the Roses podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am Ryan, Real Money / Digital
Huh?
Horse Kramer, and I am joined
Yeah.
by the Chief Horse Officer of SGPN Stables and the breeder of He's Ready to Gig, the season 29 Kentucky Derby champ, Mr. Scott, Man in the Desert, Space Rothstein Bowser. Scott, how are we doing on this Friday?
Fantastic. It's my day off. I'm enjoying it. Gonna go to the Mexican market later and get a bunch of stuff to make a shitload of tacos this weekend. I'm excited.
Oh, I didn't realize I was getting a taco update.
Yeah, why not? Well, because it's a little sneak preview of what we're gonna be talking about in a minute here with some He's Ready to
I
Gig
like
codes.
that. I like that. Yeah. So you've seen the title. He's ready to breed. We thought it'd be a good time to check in with He's Ready to Gig, our season 29 Kentucky Derby champion, as those children start to hit the track.
Yep, they had their first week as 2-year-olds this week, and I would say I'm pretty excited with these results we've been seeing so far from some of these.
Yeah, we'll hop
Especially with
into
some of
that.
the aging curves we see, especially with him, where we know we could be seeing something really come on late in this 2-year-old, early in the 3-year-old season next season. So
Yeah. As season 34 kicks off here, we'll jump into that. We'll talk a little bit about racing and all the series as it ties into that, and of course we're going to do some New Foal celebration. It was New Fool's Day on Monday. Happy New Fool's Day to all that celebrate. Certainly was a fun time for the SGPN stables as we continue to stack SS minuses, and then I figure we close the show out with a little bonus college football. We were talking last week, Bowser. I think we throw together a little money line college football.
we did
NFL
a money
parlay.
line round robin parlay, and if you tailed us, 2 legs hit, but it was 2 nice fat juicy ones of Minnesota plus 245, Stanford plus 650. That paid nice. I already cooked one up this morning for this one, so yeah.
And as you can see, I am in a hotel in Las Vegas. Got the show on VSiN tonight, Sports Gambling Podcast Live, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. More props, more NFL. So definitely want to tune into that. If you're in Vegas, come by after the show, hanging out. I will certainly be. I can commit to a firm handshake, buy you a drink, and play a little craps with you. But yeah, Bowser, let's hop into it. Do you want to start with Foles? Or do you want to start talking He's Ready to Gig's
Let's do the He's
and...
Ready to Gig kids first. That's the big title. And also I teased it with the tacos because we got Tamale Lady. Part of the reason why we ran He's Ready to Gig as a 4-year-old was we wanted to prove he wasn't a fluke, and he proved us right by finishing second in the high court and cashing a good $500 or so for us in that one. It was a nice little parting gift.
I want to pull them up here so everyone can see.
But we really didn't have anything good to breed him with in-house yet until we got Tamale Lady retired. And so we were waiting for Tamale Lady to run her 3-year-old season to breed him. So him and Tamale Lady was a big thing we wanted to do. And
before you get into that real quick, Bowser, also worth noting, it was a in the 5-year-old season finished. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was He's Ready. Sorry. Second place in the high court.
Yeah.
And to your point, it was over 500. It was 43K in Derby. So very nice score there. And Elame, who is a child of Kingman, if you know the blood, was second place in the Derby. So these two horses pretty much battled each other all throughout.
I would rather finish second in the high court and win the Derby there 10 times out of 10. So
yeah, and who can forget the sloppy track that we overcame? Look at that beautiful sun. So yeah, let's hop into He's Ready to Gig's kids.
Big Red, as I like to call him.
All right, so I'll just sort it by the ones who have hit the track already. And so, as you can see, I don't know why that one's lit up. What makes them lit up and what doesn't?
Those are ours. And then like the full of
others.
Buffalo Alice, and those are ones that people have paid for the covers on.
Very nice.
So that's
okay. So No, we're the only ones with 2-year-olds, as you can see. I have this sorted essentially by if you've hit the track yet.
We
So,
might have set his price a little too high at first, but part of that was we kind of wanted more exclusive access to him early on, and it's hey, it's looking good for us.
I mean, basically what we're seeing is 4 out of 5 here have already hit a podium, all solid early fleet figures. As you mentioned, Bowser, I think it's worth pointing out the aging curve on this horse certainly was very competitive through 4-year-old. We don't know. It could have. We don't know
Yeah,
what
my 5-year-old
5-year-old could
might
have
have
brought.
really,
So
yeah.
to me, when I look at these horses, early success is just icing on the cake. Because I do think they'll have longer lives. Do you want to? Should we start with Taco Mama?
Yeah, let's start there because she won her first 2 races, and this is the Tamale Lady one. This was the big one that we wanted to do, merging these 2 bloodline. I mean, it was basically our first 2 Kentucky S plus Kentucky Derby horses and our first Derby horses in a long time since we had that season 17 run. So going back to back in seasons 29 and 30 and being able to breed those horses together was pretty exciting for us, and now, we've qualified for the Derby, 4 times in the last 5 seasons. We're starting to build this network. We've had a couple gallops now. Looks like we're going to be making a run at the sprint this season. We'll get into that a little later. But yeah, so very excited for this pair. I got to say it, man, because Somali Lady comes from that Fazzoletti line through Rangetti that we've really seen a lot of good stuff come out of, man. Like,
Yeah, this combo right here has been good. Whether it's directly from Fazzoletti or through Rangetti, we've had a lot of success here. And then, of course, she comes from Street Meat, who is one of our surprise S's, who has done pretty good job breeding
Street
for
Meat
us.
also bred Generalissimo, our first SS minus
Yeah,
too.
and
So
I'll quickly bring that up just to kind of give you an idea what we're. And so yeah, these are nice a couple nice pieces in our stable thanks to Street Meat. So anyway, back to Tamale Lady was also a Derby qualifier, like you mentioned. Not the most success on the track, but pretty solid, 150K in Derby earnings. But yeah, this was, and let me I know we always like to look at the. I could have been prepared with this, but we always like to look at the breeder reports.
oh yeah. Yeah, because it helps. Because like I don't believe in an end all be all metric for any of this, but I like looking at all of it and kind of letting it all shade in the paint by numbers picture of it kind of thing. Because to me, some of this is like it's like jazz, right? It's all about the notes you don't play in some cases, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I think just in general, this is probably a great example of a combination. It's He's Ready to Gig and Tamale Lady, like we mentioned. Taco Mama is the first version of it. Like you said, we have another one, a 1-year-old coming as well. But you look at this shape, and what does this tell you, Bowser?
Well, it tells us that we probably I'm thinking we rolled up in start and speed maybe on this one and a little
I just think
quicker.
the shape is that of a stayer, right? This is
Yeah, this is a derby kind of contending horse. Yeah, because that stamina, finish heart, that kind of shape is definitely something we're going to achieve when we look to breed these derby contenders.
and if we're being honest with ourselves, the difference between these kids will probably be the temper rolls, if I had to guess.
We
And
should get a
so
pretty good star roll here too, which there could be some spectrum on the surface. I mean, but the left dirt should be pretty dialed in, I feel.
yeah, so and then coming back to early performance, typically the curse of the first race win. Well, we backed it up with a right into a stakes with a win, and with the distances, it's interesting because the gallop is 7, 8, 9, so we actually have 10 points in the gallop qualifier. I then wanted to test it longer because we know, talking about discovery when a horse wins early is sometimes tricky,
Yeah.
but knowing that He's Ready to Gig was definitely
And
able
Tamale
to.
Lady, both parents were stayer qualifiers.
Not only that, but I mean, He's Ready to Gig more on the track. We saw the performance, but Tamale Lady comes with this SS stamina. So the idea that this horse could maybe be stretched out a little bit made sense. Comes out, doesn't do well in the 10, and then that's when I stretch it out. Some of this is what races are available to us. But in a 12 yielding where it was downpouring, still performed okay. I still don't think this is going to be optimal for it. It was heavy rain, but then
Yeah.
now we're coming back with a
Well, and I'm noticing too, we see 3 yielding whatchamacallit.
results.
Yeah.
Now, some of that is that this is a half star firm,
Yeah.
and so I'm you know, when I'm playing half firm, I'm really only looking to exclude the 0 and the 100, and so I'm playing more middle of the board. In some ways, I find that although you would think these horses would be a little easier to run because they'd have more races available to them based on weather preference, I do find it trickier because
Yeah.
you still feel like, well, 60% I'm going to be off preference, even at 80%, but you just have to kind of roll with it. And
Well,
so
and I feel like on this horse, we got an interesting star roll if you go back to that breed report, because look at where like the left, the dirt, and then the firm were all kind of ranged. We got cheated on the firm, but we hit the nuts on the left and the dirt pretty much.
yeah,
So
we missed out on a half star, which I have a new theory for you, Bowser. We haven't really talked about this, but as I've been watching some of our lower end horses, especially some of the S minuses and maybe some of the S's, I've started to wonder if filling up your stars is no different than filling up a grade, where it may look like, 2.5 stars can be different types of 2.5 stars. And when you get to 3 stars,
oh,
there's different 3 stars too. So there's not like 3 stars maybe starts at 90%, something like that. And so I'm starting to wonder if we're just the denser the stars are, especially in the left and the dirt, as you're starting to see it. It's very difficult to compete at the lower levels, S minus S, when you don't have 3 or at least 2.5 and 3. And so, yeah, I don't know. With this horse, I'm always skeptical on early success because
yeah.
we haven't had a ton of horses that started fast and
But
finished
he's
fast.
ready to gig. Did have a
Yeah.
decent early success. So I will say that when horses have been good for us, they tend to show something early at least. So
Let's actually
there's it's that fine balance, because you want them to show something early, but you also want to you don't want them to peak early, because I mean these maidens too, everybody's discovering, so you could just be running the everybody's running off preference and you hit the luck spot there kind of thing.
So actually quite similar, right? He's ready to gig. Breaks the maiden in the first with a yielding race, then pops another at 10, but doesn't win, and then it's a streak of just meh, not great stuff.
But 3 out of in his first 4 races, 3 fleet figures 80 or over showed us
Yeah,
something.
the performances
But
weren't bad. It was just the places, and then so much so we backed it into the redemption run.
yeah.
Another plug for the redemption run, but and even just like, look, we were even throwing it in an allowance. Like I was a little bit lost, and then 3-year-old season starts right into a restricted stakes wins. We promote it, still not like oh my goodness, and then you start to see it happen with a win, a second integrated, and then the rest is history. So, but you want to look at an aging curve, which love the aging curve section here, but
Oh yeah,
you can kind of look to see what happened here. This was a drastic age up from 2 to 3. So yeah, no, I mean, very excited. I'm very excited for this one. But yeah, let's look at some of the other kids. Get there the clunky way.
yeah. That Mona Lisa Smile was a Gallop qualifier for us. That could be, now we're looking at, hopefully that's another interesting breed for us that comes
I know
out.
all these kids are fun to think about.
Let's go to gig economy next, because look at that one. So far, 4 races. We do have 3 podiums there. We haven't gotten the maiden win, but hell, maybe it's time to just push this one up, since we're kind of, we're seeing something from it.
So this will probably be the last. And again, shout out to Sowers. He just did a breakdown. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I plan on watching it. He did a breakdown on kind of his racecraft and how he goes about operating his stable. And I've heard great feedback. I plan on watching it myself.
He also just, I think, posted another one about using claimers in the Claim to Fame series. So
So I think, if you're getting into this game or you're new to this game, he's one of the top stables in the game. I think third stable to have 100 million in earnings or
Yes.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So definitely, worth taking notes from, especially because he's doing it at scale, and I'm sure whatever lessons he's learned, it's been over many, 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 and even for us, like we have a lot of horses, but I do think we still have a relative small sample size in terms of my thoughts are always changing.
Yeah.
But to answer to your point on this horse, the next if we don't break this maiden, we're either going to go right into a stakes or something, or we're going to leverage the redemption run series.
Yeah.
Where, if you're not familiar, it's essentially a no purse race that costs $3 to enter, but there is a series at the end. There is like a race you can qualify at the end that I believe has a couple hundred bucks in it, and it's just for your better horses. It's a great way to keep the discovery going. And
Tamale Lady's a great example, honestly, of a horse that
you know what? I'll pull it up.
that we got her into that redemption series, and we really discovered we had something with her.
I mean, even last season, we had Italian American running in the Derby, and it didn't win a race. It's a 2-year-old season, but yeah, let's
Or 3.
this what's that?
He still hasn't won a race.
Yeah, you're right. It hasn't won, period, but did not win in that early season. But Tamale Lady is another one where there was slight performance where you're like, okay, a second at 78. No maidens though, right? See, here's my 5 maidens. So my strategy here is most of our horses, especially if they're below S plus, they're getting 3 maidens.
Yeah.
Maidens. Maybe even 2 now and a claimer. I'm kind of starting to pivot that. Then you're done. You're just benched. For the paid for a decent amount, or we think there's something in there, I'll stretch them out to 4 or 5, and then it's into something else. And usually it's the redemption run. So you can see with Tamale Lady, there was not much other than this 1 9 furlong race, which I didn't go back to 9, but I peppered around it, and still nothing. And so, when we moved on and I got into the redemption race, the first race it won, which didn't tell me much because these are, I don't want to call these claimers, but they're lower level races. I then tried it again in a stakes, like to the point of what we were just saying about gig economy. Like I thought something might be here. I saw a good spot for it, 9, probably a middle of the road rain result. Nothing worked here, and you can even tell this is older because the price at the end of these different.
Right.
And then back into these $3 240 Derby qualifiers where, again, not much, but plucked up a couple points, and then we ran in the final for the season, and we came in 3rd. So it was like, okay. And then once again, this new qualification method where you have levels allowed us to go, okay, let's try it. Let's try it in the 10 furlong, and boom, it wins. Let's promote it to grade. It wins again.
And once we get that, we know
once this happens, it's over. Well, at least I know we're going to be peppering.
Yeah, because once we get 2 wins like that and a stakes and then a graded, we're sitting on a decent amount of points early in the season. There's no point to not push it. And even if we're scraping to backdoor it at the end of the season, getting there is the battle for the most part,
And so, as you can see from that point, we kind of just got in a funnel, and there was not a lot of wins,
no,
but a lot of second. I mean, especially, second place in a grade 1, you're picking up 20 series points.
And the winnings in Derby there, you're picking up a few $100 still,
Yeah, exactly. So, long story short, ends with a relatively disappointing run at the Oaks and the Derby. But, I mean, again, the lesson here is more the 2-year-old season. I feel like some of our best 2-year-olds haven't really been the horses that cashed in as 3-year-olds. The only one that comes to mind is Roman Surprise,
and he really did most of his damage as a 4-year-old by winning the High Court. So like
he was a strong 2-year-old, strong enough 3-year-old, and then like you said, it came back. But all right, let's head back to
and that could have, with his 4-year-old season, there could be something to the big competition being retired after the age 3 for breeding. And so he had a wider path in that 4-year-old. There's always, so sometimes on these horses, if you think they're good and they didn't quite do it for you as a 3-year-old, run them back as a 4-year-old. You might get a lot more out of it than you would breeding them that season.
All right, let's
I
look
know
at
the high court's not a major, but man, it still pays like
half a major.
it pays like $1,200, dude. Who doesn't want that?
And then this will be the last one we look at. But yeah, I mean, 4 out of 5 of these kids have already had podiums, and
Multiple podiums for the most part. Yeah,
and 3 of them are greater than 50% podium rate. This is actually one of the kids or one of the mares we picked up off the market, I believe.
yeah. Yep. We went and found some
because we didn't have a ton to breed it with, and again, you know, you're looking at when I see this start to a career, it's like okay. Like there's something here.
Yep.
This isn't like it's not like world beating, but there is something here. And then again, knowing that he's ready to gig, the aging curve being something that we can rely on getting better with age. For now, it's like okay, can we at least get to a point where we are confirmed that this will be a stayer, which I'm fairly confirmed it is. And you can see I'm at the 5th maiden, so I think from here we either push it out to real races or they're shooting rockets over by you.
Yeah, I live right next to the Air Force Base. They're doing some Area 51 drills out here. So
or we hit the redemption run here. Now the other angle that's kind of nice is that the low majors are now inclusive of S pluses, and so you can run. If I want to do some discovery with a purse, I can do some 400 Derby or 600 Derby allowance / stakes races, even $1,000 or 1,000 Derby stakes races, which are still cheaper than the maidens. But I'll tell you what, I would prefer to drop that down to $3 and do the redemption series, or like I was mentioning earlier, kind of doing a little bit more where I pivot quicker to claimers, as that essentially what I'm realizing, like a real dummy. It just lets you reduce the cost of your discovery. You can still, like for example, we just put one of our S's in a $1,200 Derby claimer that costs $3. Now the horse is not going to get claimed for $1,200 probably, but it's still cheaper than the maiden. So it's like just further ways to discover your horse.
And if it did, it's kind of nice. Just 1,200, wipe our hands of it, move on to the other ones.
Well, and that's the other thing. You can kind of generate some revenue out of like, you know, the horses that aren't necessarily that are good enough to win some claimers, but not good enough.
And especially the stuff that we're breeding in house completely with both parents, where it's like our cost was cheaper on it, you know. So it's like we might as well get something for it.
So yeah, I mean, long story short, early results are good for he's ready to gig. Do you have a final answer on what we're listing him at?
Oh, we're down to the minimum with him now. Yeah. So,
I mean, based on these results, if you're watching this or you're in the turf club and you're aware of he's ready to gig, I might check it out. I mean, again, these results are.
We're looking pretty promising, but
I'll put it on the screen one more time.
But right now, every one of our horses is in there at minimum. We haven't been getting a lot of hits on a lot of stuff, so I figure might as well. We also got Commandant that just hit the market in there, and he's pretty solid. So he finished 3rd in last season's Gallop. And yeah, with him, you're looking at more of a flat, kind of a flatter curve. I mean, that's pretty good stars for an SS minus. You know, it'd be nice to get a little more left star on him, but hey, with the 2.5 dirt and firm, we'll take it. And once again, comes through that Fazzoletti line. And he's got the Casino line too in him. You know, it's very good horse here. Morningwood, you know, he's got a lot of common ancestry too. He's ready to gig when you look, you know, a couple generations in.
Well, I mean, you always say this, but it's like there's only so much different. And so, yeah, I think just to kind of put our biggest winners on the screen, the males. We've also added, and not that we're talking too much about the studs, but we've also, I mean, Roman Surprise was a recent retirement.
Yeah, and he won the High Court Classic for us. Finished 9th in his 5-year-old season running it when we ran it back with him. Decided to retire him. And yeah, I was very impressed with this reveal, to be honest with you. We've mentioned before how we're not quite as worried about temper because, you know, these majors and stuff, it's just a one-off. I don't really need I just need to be good enough to get there. And then I don't need consistency on the big day, really. But with that stamina, heart profile, and having, the bare bones of the rest is a very good breeding piece, especially at the 4,000 minimum. If you're looking to, maybe elevate some of your S minus or S mares, especially.
And I mean, look at this. If you look at the median, I mean, just relatively flat aging curve between 3 and 5. I'd
I think he would have been
imagine.
solid as a 6-year-old. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I also think just in general, if we were to look at all horses, this would being able to get a plateau that goes from age 3 to 5 would probably be pretty desirable. I mean, even looking at the more granular curve, you can see there was a little bit of a dip, but there was a bit of a crescendo at the end of that
yeah.
season there. And so, yeah, I mean, this is one that I'm sure we have some plans for.
Oh
But I
yeah.
mean, and
He's
again, here's that high court victory. Beat some good horses. Certainly, like you said, not a full major, but 96K Derby is a pretty nice purse.
yeah.
And as you mentioned, I like as far as our S plus horses, having a ignoring temper, having a +3 here, only -1 on the temper, and good stars. In some ways, I could see this being just as attractive to people as he's ready to gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll pull up the bloodline. Just again, Fazoletti
Yeah.
um, through one pride, which we've used a couple times, and then this is
And Super
Dabrig, which
Zion, which for the record won a lot more, is an exact brother of Casino, same parents.
very nice, and Vaporize, who was one of the goats back in the day, a
Yeah.
Gallop winner, paired with one of our.
I mean, look at that,
best
800,000, 900,000, 300,000. There's a lot of earnings on this side of the. So
on the
even though
mom side.
Dabrig was kind of disappointing for us, having, putting winnings with winnings in the breed market really can pay off.
Well, if you look at the two parents, like you want to talk about getting this is why we ignore temper, right? A+ to S, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I noticed too, if you go back to the original Gen Zero horses, Temper was one of the ones that was almost always like a down roll. There wasn't many, like, there was a lot of S plus and even SS minus in some cases in Gen Zero traits in a lot of horses. There wasn't a lot though that had temper that was over grade, that was a plus grade. And so what you saw in a lot of the early Gen 1s and mixed gens that were bred with these Gen Zeros, there was crazy variance in the temper, and so it was like one of those things where it was like, especially when we bought a lot of those Gen Zeros that we were experimenting with there for a while, it's like I didn't worry about temper with those. I worried about the other 4 grades because I saw how much those horses specifically had a wild variance in temper, and just there's a chance of you getting a great up rolls there. So might as well just not worry about it.
And if you look at the parents here, right, you have S and S makes S plus. You have S plus and S makes S plus. You have SS minus and S plus makes S. So Stamina was the one down roll. S minus and S plus makes S. S plus and S plus makes SS minus. S and A plus makes an S. So this was an ultimate up roll, even with the stars. Look at this. I pulled up the breed report while you were talking for Dabrig, just to kind of give it an idea of like what can, even with this small outcome, we still achieved the high end along with a number of other high ends. And I think what's super interesting about this is if we go back to knowing that the Stamina down roll here happened for the mom, and knowing that we're pushing Stamina back in through the dad side as well, but the parents had it, like there was some SS minus.
Yeah. It's there in the
back.
lineage. Yeah.
And I think more often than not, again, going back to the family, like the traits of the grandparents matter, the traits of the parents matter, the traits of the great grandparents matter, and that's how you can access these ceilings from some of these horses.
Yeah. So you're looking. So yeah, sometimes don't be so discouraged when you have a down roll on a trait when it's there throughout the rest of the family tree, because chances of it coming back next generation are high as long as you keep focusing on that.
And back to a breed report, that's where these gates come from. Essentially, that's where the variance of what can be possible. We believe certainly is heavily influenced by what has been possible in like what we've already seen that bloodline produce.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Is there any other? Since we're already looking at them, is there any other of our studs you wanted to, I guess we don't have any other fun ones. We do have a bunch of stuff to retire that we haven't done so yet, but we'll get to that eventually. Um, you want to talk about some foals?
Yeah, definitely. Because we had, I would say,
Actually, before we do that, I want to real quick because we were kind of talking about racing. The other thing I wanted to mention was, and yeah, you know what? Well, we can use Game Manager as another example, but I can't harp on this enough.
yeah,
Again, showed something, right? 80 at 6, 80 at 4, both second
second
places.
place and 80.
80, yeah, back to 80.
place.
And then it's like, okay, 4 maidens. Maybe, you know, we know sprinting's a little tougher. It's only an S plus. Let's go to the redemption run. We get a win, nothing, a second. So it's like, okay, this is interesting. Let me try a G1. Oh, now 4th place, not the best, but not the worst, but showing me you can compete, right?
Yeah.
Going from a stakes 84 to an 82 in the graded, another 82 in the stakes. And so this was a slow burn. We didn't end up qualifying 3rd place in a G1. We didn't end up qualifying for the free roll. Again, sprinting much more competitive, but told us we had something here. And so coming out of the now 3-year-old season, a 2nd place in a G2, a 1st place in a G2, a 4th and a 7th. But, you know, we are well on our way.
Yeah, points wise, we're the 2nd on the leaderboard. I just checked this morning. Yeah, so Naples Nightmare is ahead of us, but yeah, we're looking great to qualify for our first sprint championship, and who knows what could happen once we get there. So,
but the reason I wanted to bring this guy up is I just I feel very strongly that you just need to. Especially with your more quality horses, you can't give up on them. I think too often, and we see this a lot, right? Where in the times we've made claims, too often people want to throw the horse out because it hasn't done something in a couple races. Which I think if you're a bigger stable, maybe it's easier to do that. But
you know, I call this the Seabiscuit gene, where it just takes the right ownership group to get this horse headed in the right direction on the track and let it compete.
Absolutely. All right. So, and then, yeah, it's just as far as our 2-year-olds, what you'll notice if you scroll through our horses is for the most part, oh, I'm like, why am I not seeing all our horses? For the most part, you're not going to see a horse that hasn't podium have more than 3. So if I go to the bottom, there's probably a couple that still need their 3rd race, but you see what happens down here. You start benching these horses.
Yep.
But once we get into the horses that have shown something, and I'll go back to the top because there's better examples up here. You just got to keep pushing it, and you got to push it early in the season when people are racing. I think too often, you know, like if you're gonna spend every day playing the game, this is the week to do it. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out. Especially the maidens, like they've already started thinning out in terms of how many people.
All of a sudden, they go from filling up completely down to like 7 horses.
And you see it in your stake money. You see it in the return on that. But and then yeah, I mean if you're late to it, you almost have to jump into claimers now. And so again, another kind of loop back to be like if you're new to the game or you want to get in the game, claimers really are the way. And Sowers did a breakdown. I know some other people have done breakdowns on them, but it's the easiest way to learn.
We just claimed. It's so funny that Sowers posted the thing about claimers today because we just claimed the horse from him this week. Let's pull that up actually real quick. Yeah, it's a 3-year-old. So, yeah, gift of a lifetime. Yeah, dude, I was just kind of I was looking at the Claim to Fame series, and most of those are like 10,000 K claimers. I saw this one was 2.4K. I was like, well, let's kick the tires. And I noticed some very good stables had some horses in here. And so I decided to claim this horse, throw a claim in on it. And of course, it was before the race. I didn't know it was going to win and collect these series points or whatever. But
it does make me think we need to go back into it. We need to
I don't know, because like we're really trying to build up left turf right now, and getting as many different diverse bloodlines is something really important for us over there. And so especially a halfway decent fucking filly like this with decent stars and everything, like this is this becomes one of our top 3 pieces overnight, you know, over here to build from. And so very, very nice for us. I see several SS minuses coming out of this womb for us in the future. So,
and the game for site. They kind of made it a little bit more dark, included some nicer, larger.
Yeah, her dropping an 86, and I mean, I know it's a claimer, but her dropping an 86 there was pretty nice.
Yeah, it is a claimer, and if you're not familiar, basically the fleet figures are relative to the level, and so claimers are basically maybe even beneath maidens at times.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out some foals.
Yeah, go to our 2-year-olds. Okay, so I don't know. I don't think it's a hot take to say this was our best foals day ever.
Well, we have a total of what?
We have 11
yeah.
total. Yeah, we went from 6 total SS minus horses to 11 now. We almost doubled by producing 5 in this just one season. And I think a big part of that too is we're really improving. Even when we're getting S pluses now, we're getting much higher quality plus grade S pluses. So some of the kids, like some of our early S pluses that we were getting a few months ago when we were really starting to produce them, their kids now are becoming much better breeders. And that, we're hammering this generation by generation, and we're really seeing some results now, I gotta say.
Yeah, would have liked to see more fillies, but the idea that we got an LDF filly, that's always good to keep that side going.
And a tamale lady who we have seen now, her first kids on the track, we're seeing some good production there. So if this filly's I mean, no matter what, that filly's good for us.
I'll pull it up in a sec. I'll pull up the bloodline in a second, but I mean, we have a colt on the LDF side, a filly on the LDF side, a colt on the LDS side coming out of one of our surprise reveals, local hustler, and then 2 LD or LTS SS minus colts Bowser,
which is great because it's completely different combos, different bloodlines, and like right now, I'm okay early on with us stacking SS minuses to get a lot of colts early because that's just cheaper, a lot of cheaper shots for us with SS minuses and not having to go out of house. But
And
yeah, we definitely want to start seeing more fillies pop in here.
And you're seeing the arms race for SS minuses. A lot of the $1,000 plus sales have been on the left turf side recently. You keep calling it an arms race. So certainly was nice to see us pop 2 out. Let's start with the Tamale Lady kid. Because I think we have a lot of excitement for all of her foals as good winnings on the track. One of our better mares.
Yeah, so she comes from
Rangetti
street meet.
First half unders, which has done well.
Haddle to fail, which was a great Gen 1.
Passed and then on for the dad, you decided
Italian herpes.
You decide does herpes have a nationality? Is that a thing?
If it did, it would probably be like, I don't know, Brazilian or something.
Oh wow, Brazilians are just the Italians of South America. Everyone knows that.
No, the Italians of South America are the Argentinians that fled after World War II in fashion because
they got a little too much German in them for my taste. Don't boys from Brazil. Interesting take if you want to the German, Argentinian, Brazilian exodus from Europe at the end of World War II. Very interesting.
Okay, so Italian herpes was a horse that hadn't really done much on the track and really not a lot in the family tree. I'll be kind of honest with you here. Mambo Italiano, Mariano, you get back to the great grandfather, was solid. But what I saw here was a clear cut, like, dude, like just that temper, that finish, that speed. I felt like that was something we wanted to pop with Tamale Lady. If you go down to Tamale Lady, like, yeah, she was like speed and temper was kind of what held her back. And so it was like, man, if we can really get that slammed up into her bloodline, I think this could really take it to the next level. And so this is that kind of shape we're looking for. I always say when you're looking for almost that boomerang, like I don't mind not having the temper and start as long as everything kind of boomerangs out from it. Because I think we'll be getting a good stayer there. And so and his stars were very good. I'm surprised that he was. Sometimes you kind of feel like these horses are mismanaged because his grades and his stars are pretty good. Like he should have been ran better. And I don't know, maybe we can go into his, but yeah, I felt like, I mean, they did run him for the Derby and stuff, I guess.
They tried. It had some good results. I mean, I think you you see kind of we've had these types of 2-year-old seasons, right, where it's like some it pops a little bit.
And then, but this is a horse that came out and popped in some Derby qualifiers. They just didn't run him enough, you
Oh,
know.
I see. It didn't. Yeah, they so yeah, once they got to 3-year-old, it was second, first, 10th, first, sixth. That yeah, this horse could have. I mean, certainly what you're seeing here is it probably lacked the heart to get up to the graded. But I mean, the heart's still pretty good. So maybe it just needed more. This is actually somewhat confusing based on what we're seeing for the traits. So to your point, perhaps there was just something off about this horse. Maybe it needed more volume. Maybe it's a later aging curve. Either way, I mean, the combination of these results during these seasons with the everything else, I'm with you. Like this doesn't seem there's not a ton of weakness
To
here.
me, this was a very good value at the price, and we're going back to him this season with a different horse because I just feel like
Well, look
he's
at the
one of the better.
ceilings.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the better values on the stud market. How often do you see all 5 grades having a ceiling close to SS?
Yeah, I mean, and if anything, the tight windows are tight high. Like the
Yeah.
finish and the stamina. It's really just taking the floor out of it more than anything else. And so, yeah, very excited about this. I think in general, when this happens to me, but like a champion or it wins a lot of races, I'm immediately tied to all of its children. Now we found that sometimes the children of the children, like things skip a
Yeah.
generation. Early success we had, I think, was a little bit different than the success we're having now. Plus, we have these champion colts as well to kind of pair them with.
And I feel like no matter what, this female is going to be a good one for us. This filly we got out of this pairing is going to be a huge building block for. I mean, just like our first LDF SS minus female. She's got decent stars. Everything's lined up for her. And we kind of, by going outside from Tamale Lady to this Italian Herpes, because of his lineage, where you can say, well, it's kind of questionable. Look, the grades appear to be there, the reports there, and now we're avoiding a lot of other bloodlines. We just knocked off a lot of stuff in the past. And now this horse should be able to be eligible and have some permissiveness with a lot of top dogs in LDF, and that's maybe the most exciting part about this going forward.
Which is important, as we know, because it is.
We kind of hit a wall there of like 10, 12 seasons ago because we kept buying horses from stuff that we knew that worked. We kept going back to the same studs, and all of a sudden we had a lot of decent shit, but none of it was eligible with each other. We kind of realized we got to be there's more art to this in a way.
And I think the issue with Tamale Lady, if we're being honest, is that in terms of the permissiveness, she is
Damn
in
right,
our stable. In our stable, she's only really compatible with He's Ready to Gig, so she is a good candidate to maybe go out of house one more time. If these He's Ready to Gig kids are all really really good, maybe we circle back. Maybe we'll have some SS minuses by then.
Oh, to be honest with you, I feel like we're kind of outgrowing He's Ready to Gig. As good as the results and stuff are going now, I'm seeing a better use for him with our fellow S pluses and even high end S's with great stars that become like a stepping stone to go to our SS minus stuff. Because Tamale Lady's breed score and stuff, her profile is so high, and we can find speed easy on the stud market for her to get over that SS minus hump. So I feel like just going forward, she's our best shot to give us a lot of good SS minuses over there.
Yeah, and maybe a great way to transition over to our LDS.
We'll definitely we have the 2 with her and him. I'm sure, yes, before her breeding career, their breeding career ends, they will have matched up at one point. I'm sure of it. Because hard work
So
chap is
looking good. So
yeah.
But yeah, so then the other so the only mare we have that is arguably better than Tamale Lady is Local Hustler. Now, not as good on the track, as you can see.
Yeah.
But what I would call, and let's do a little self scouting right here. We did 5 maidens. We went into the redemption. Again, we were kind of close but no cigar, but good numbers, right? 81, 82. Not nothing horrible, nothing good though. and then we age up. Still nothing, close but no cigar. Close, like where these are limited, so these are not many points, and just never really. We got this one fun second place in a stakes, another one up here in a benchmark. Just not a ton to come home with, and then we retire it, and it's like, oh my god, how did this not? How was this horse not
It,
doing more?
and I think this one might have been a preference issue with this horse. There's
Perhaps.
not a lot of stars here, but because the stars are concentrated just in left and dirt, a 4.5 star horse that's just concentrated there, that's something to work with and build on, especially with that combination of heart and stamina, or heart and finish we see, along with, because this is a +3 S plus, dude. That's a high end thing. And pretty quickly, I was upset last season when we didn't get but if you see Heart Attack, man, that first colt we got out of her, good stars, we got some sort of roll there. But I realized my mistake was breeding her to LDF. We were already strong enough on LDF. So I figured we had to go LDS this time. And we went with Blood Rodeo. And I would like to have more left in dirt, but I will take this star roll in LDS right now. Absolutely. For our first SS minus stud.
So what made you choose Blood Rodeo here?
Blood Rodeo is one of the better studs over there. I mean, just look at those grades. First off, that's a straight up even subgrade S minus, little. And if we go into what was she strong at, local hustler. All right. Well, she's got that finish and heart. His one weakness was a little heart. And it's like, but she's pretty level beyond that. And I'm like, okay, like just the way when you look at those two side by side, they kind of really balance each other out in a lot of ways, And so, yeah, you look at this breed report. I was like, how is this not an SS minus?
When it came out an SS minus.
It came out an SS minus, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think with local hustler, it's gonna, to your point, it's gonna be, I think, more rare for it to put out an S plus than an SS minus.
Yeah, and I do think too we should be focusing more on the LDS stuff with her because she's that 0 star there. The better we get LDS with her, I think long term that gives us a better plus EV stretch.
Oh, man, this heart.
I know, dude. If this could be like SS plus heart, which could be a very special horse, especially if it can handle the mud well, like because we've been seeing how many times have these majors been bad weather, and so I'm trying to balance this out more and more with good stuff that are soft and firm, both sides in the turf and the dirt. It's hard to get to LTF. We're working, and we'll get to that because we did get some more LTF stuff in this full cycle. But yeah, this one was, dude, really excited we got the mail here because I really wanted a good SS minus Blood Rodeo son. Because now that we have one, we don't have to pay for him as much. we just cut the breeding cost in half there on that. So,
all right, let's
let's check out those LTFs that we got because we talk about the left turf.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, do we anything we want to add to any of these other SS minuses?
Well, Issues and Controversy was another Generalissimo one. So now he's produced an SS minus full in both seasons. He's been eligible to breed. I think that's important.
Yeah, in fact, and this is a little bit of our Kingman blood, which we know coming through Lucky Dog. Like this is another combination that is producing a lot of winning.
Yeah,
and so you'll notice that in our last one, our female, a local hustler comes from Lucky Dog, I believe.
Now I will say that those horses are a little the stuff they were producing with the winning. It was when the SS minus didn't quite have as many good preference horses. So we're seeing the preferences matter more and more really in SS minus now.
And so here, just to give you, if you're on the fence about Generalissimo, our first SS minus, this has been the output so far. Like Bowser's saying, let me actually sort it by grade. Like Bowser's saying, it's now created 3 SS minuses, and
Dingleberry Pie, one of our new 1-year-olds there.
Oh, I didn't know that someone came for Generalissimo here. Is this one of your?
This was hooked up homeboy Sweetwater in one of the blood pack deals. So yeah, there's cheap ways to get in on him if you want if you want to work with us
So
on.
yeah, I mean, one of our two SS minuses that are available for breeding. All right, let's move along. What did you want to look at?
Oh, the LTF stuff that we produced this season, because I'm okay. 2 seasons in a row, we kind of got a what I would call a happy accident roll into LTF, right? Where that range of star outcome got us on the other side with, and so I was like, well, let's try and breed some LTF this season. So for the first one, the full of backdoor cover, she's a half star on soft, and she's produced some LTF for us already. And I was like, well, one of those LTFs was straight up just trying to be an LTS, but both parents rolled over into the firm side. We got lucky on that. On this one, I was like, well, let's just try for it. So I found a good SS minus with, some good subgrade, and but with that 1-star firm. And I was like, let's fucking roll the dice on this. And we hit it. We got another LTS mare and an S plus at that. So now we have 3 of those LTF plus S plus mares that I think are going to be a big building block for us going forward over here on this side as it starts expanding too with this arms race, like I said, going on over here. And like, we're doing a good job of like kind of moneyballing our way through it, not and paying the minimum on these studs, or using, the stuff that we have at our resources to make it happen.
Well, and this is interesting to me too, because you have a full 3 generations of LTF. Like this isn't a one generation flip over.
Yeah.
This has been going on. I mean, Absolute Horsepower has been at this for a while. You keep saying let's let the other people do the hard work.
Yeah.
We'll ride the wave once we're ready. And so to your point,
I think we're starting to get there with it. Yeah.
Well, and if I expand it out to not just look at our 0-year-olds and look at our entire crop of LTF horses, I mean, to your point, we now have 3 S plus LTF horses, although not much firm in them.
All fillies too, so that's nice.
Well, it's going to be easier to add to them, right? Because we're going to let someone else do the work and plop on top, and then we've had a couple.
Yeah, the chopping block was the one that. Okay, so I claimed an RTF horse for us a while back because this Nick Rutherford horse, I realized had potential to breed an LTF if I found the right RTF match. And so I did, where she had to have lower stars than him on right, but higher on his soft on firm, and they both just had to have the decent turf. And so I found that, and we were able to create with DEI.
A minus to A plus to S minus.
Yeah, no, like there's something very interesting there. But what I really liked about this was that SS minus finish that we got on this S minus roll that was LTF. And I was like, okay, now, and I had kind of just forgot about that we did this a little while back. So I was like, I dusted it off. And now we got, if you look at the, because we did try and breed another one, or I think this is our first breed we did with it. So if you go into her progeny or back to our LTF screen.
Hold on, I was just going to bring up the breed report real quick, because I think it's interesting to see.
Yeah, we missed the heart, but we hit the finish on the, like that's often that's what you're gonna. Oh my god,
the variance with also like how smashing the 2 soft and the 3 firm together, like what it creates. It's always, it's like science, right? You're just like, this is crazy. This range of A plus to SSS minus. I mean, just wild stuff.
Yeah, and so, but the fact that we were able to get chopping block here, which now produced this full. So okay, I went out and I was like, I need to find a decent sub, but I don't want to do anything too crazy. Found this Dum Dums. Where I wasn't worried much about the left and the turf as much as the firm over here right now. And so the fact that he was just 2.5 firm with the left and turf, I'm like, let's fucking do it, dude. And he had the SS minus heart that could balance her out, and she's an up roll for him finish wise.
Yeah, so let me pull up this breed report as well, because this is very interesting.
And this was another filly too, so it's like, okay, we just keep adding fillies to LTF that we can build on. Like you said, we're letting other people do the work to help us fucking draft them here.
Now, when people take advantage of the blood packs where you put together some breeds and we give them a nice discount, are they getting the breed reports with that?
Yes, they do get the breed reports.
Wow, that is full service.
That is absolute full service. And if they have any real requests, I can work with them on that. as long as it's something we're not using. And so like, yeah, these LTF stuff right now, we're kind of using it because we're building that up. But like with LDF, dude, we have so much good LDF that we're not using right now that I'll gladly put some pairs together for you guys.
This thing is interesting. Like this thing could be anything, and we're gonna get we could get a version of this thing that's easily punching above its weight. So I'm very interested to see what this turns out to be. Shout out to Nick.
And so I decided too that with this one backdoor cover and Failer Swift and S Plus we have that's also got the low star over there. Like I am treating them as LTF breeders now. And we're trying to find the best LTF matches for them. So I'm gonna keep expanding there. And if we keep hitting fillies like this, we're gonna have a nice little crop coming in a few seasons, big time, you know. So
and shout out to Nick Rutherford. If you are a good neighbor fan, it is that Nick Rutherford.
Yeah, good friend of the show.
I once lived in his pool house. Well, it wasn't a pool house, but I lived in his. He had a property in Los Angeles that had a side house. And long time ago, I'd dumped the other half, and I was going through some dark times, and I was living in his little 1-bedroom side house.
I remember going over there for a barbecue one time, and we had the fire pit going in the back, and we were all drinking pretty good, and he had an axe throwing setup, and it was a funny time to find out my girlfriend was insanely good. Like she was a savant at axe throwing. And it's like, oh my God, this thing that I had no idea, this talent you had no idea you had is capable of murdering me if you ever get mad at me, like so savagely. You could Braveheart me. And then she was like, turns out she was like blackout drunk, didn't remember doing it the next day. I'm like, oh my God, you were throwing axes and had no idea you were doing this with precision. It was very funny.
And then here's that LTF backdoor cover kid with Bend in the Air.
Where he's a plus 1.5 soft. How did we get a half-star firm there? That's
this is the one I wanted to bring up the breed report for. What we figured out, right, is it's all like, again, this is where you talk about the lineage, and if you go back into the I forget who it is. But if you go back in this bloodline,
Carlino's back in there, like Aqua Eclipse. I mean,
these are all the soft horses. But one of these parents has firm in it, and we're gonna do this on the air now because at some point you go back far enough, and that's I think again that's how this all works. Even though it's been dormant. I think it's this one right here. Even though it's been dormant for here we go.
Yeah. There's a left firm in there, way back.
Soft. There's turf soft. This is a real. You would call this Frankenstein, maybe.
Yeah. We would definitely call this a Frankenstein.
But let me quickly pull up the breed report. Who was the dad's name again? It was.
Oh God, dude, don't make me remember these. So many.
Great name too. 6-point teaser. Bend in the Air.
Yeah.
Bend in the Air.
Yeah, 6-point T is a good name.
There's been a lot of controversy about the 6-point tees. It's like -135 on DraftKings now, something ridiculous.
Dude, well, sometimes like Circa and a couple of these local ones will have it like -120 on some of them.
-120 is like the standard price. If you can find -110 at like a local, that's like considered the best. The gene, like that's what it used to be. That's the price.
Now I've noticed William Hill here will often give you on the 3-teamer a +180.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
that's good price on the 3-teamer. So here
you go to them for those. Yeah.
So look at this breed report here. This is a wild.
Like it's kind of crazy the range of stars where this could have been a 2.5 soft star horse, but we got the half-star firm like on that crazy outlier out to the end. Like
let me see if I can.
Like that's a very crazy roll. Like, and this horse could be anything, like you said. Like,
yeah, and here, look at this. I always like doing this view too,
because like I realized that in left turf, speed's kind of hard to come by. So you can find these SS speed matches, get it into the stable as much as possible where you can.
It's just like to your point. It's a half-star soft and a 1.5 star soft that somehow came together and gave us this.
Yeah, and we didn't really lose much on the left or turf either. You figure a star roll would affect all 3 phases maybe, right? But not in this case. So really fascinating shit here on this one, dude.
We
Like,
got the extreme roll though. You can see like this. The range was crazy. 2.5, like you said.
it's like that one
So,
I did where I bred the two A minuses that produced the A plus, and I was like, how the fuck did this happen?
but we had first maiden. We got a third. Little not as good the second. I'm stretching it out to see if we got some distance here. But yeah, kind of fun to see. Like this is our first abomination that is actually raked in a little bit of Derby.
Yeah, and I really feel like the LTF stuff, as excited as I am about it right now, I don't have a lot of expectations for these fillies on the track right now. I'm expecting their kids and stuff and down the line to really hammer this for us. You know, I understand this is a process. It takes a few seasons to really get stuff going. You know, no matter where you're at.
Hell yeah. Any other foals you'd like to spotlight, Bowser?
God, I think there was one more.
I'll just slowly scroll through. Maybe you'll.
Oh yeah, no, actually, I want to go up. Check it out. Go up to the SS minuses, the LTS one, the full of talent for Mambo. Yeah, okay, because I picked up. I saw. Remember how? If you guys remember, I said Lacey had some LTS. She was making big moves over there, but she was selling some cheap stuff. So I picked this up from her for cheap, and or I might have picked it up from Absolute. I forget who I picked. I want to say I picked it up from her, but I saw, dude, the fact that we can get these SS traits in both stamina and heart with decent speed over here in LTS, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty much better than any colt we have over there. And then yeah, Baltazar Ranch had this bloomin' onion where I was like, oh baby, yeah, let's put that in our veins, dude. Because I wasn't so worried about in left turf. I'm not worried about the soft or whatever, because like we are trying to get over to LTF where we can, and so yeah, this all looked good to me. And the fact that we got a decent star roll here, because look, he's only 3.5 stars. Like, and yeah, very excited about this one. Cause like, but it's kind of funny just the way we kind of pieced it together. And yeah, we were able to hit it. And hopefully this keeps producing some good stuff for us.
Let me bring up the breed report real quick.
Yes, this is Photo Finish Live, Tomcat, and
what's up, Tomcat?
It's a digital horse racing game where we yeah, it's a full simulation. I mean, that's a great way of putting it. And yes, you can bet on it, and you can own your own horses, all of it.
Yeah, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/PFL. Get in the game and use the code SGPN. You see it on the screen. You can scan the QR code as well. And like Bowser said, you can bet on it. You can just watch races if that's what fancies you. You can start a stable. We got tons of horses too to help you out. I know Tomcat's an OG listener who so OG. He used to be a Twitch guy. Probably found us in the sweet Madden days.
This is much better than the other game you're referring to here. But yeah, it's similar. It's but whereas that was more arc. Think of it like this: Zed Racing was more like NFL Blitz. This is more like Madden. You know, one's more of an arcade game. One's more of like Madden simulation. The real.
Well, it also created by the guy who made.
Yeah, actually, like literally with Madden on this one. Yeah.
And then we can close it out with we'll play a race to close it out to show you what it looks like too. Yeah, here's that breed report.
Can we watch the Kentucky Derby again on
sure. Yeah, why not? It's our show, so we can
since we were highlighting he's ready to gig, we'll bookend the show with showing his win at the end. That's always fun.
Well, I mean, I don't have much more, Bowser. Are there any other foals you wanted to show off?
No, but I mean, look at this one, dude. If we hit the stamina heart combo on this one that it's capable of, oh baby, this could be something, dude.
Certainly going to be a nice step in the right direction. And like you said, it's we're not exactly loaded up with left turf horses. Like we're not very strong on the left turf side in general. So to be able to have a couple SS minuses out of nowhere, huge jump forward for us.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an idea, this is our current this is what our left dirt or left turf looks like. We don't even have that many S pluses, although now
Yeah, and a lot of those are
we have a decent amount.
we have a decent amount now, but a few of those are breeders that I've been picking up cheap off the market lately, and like claimers and stuff we've picked up. So I mean, like we haven't produced much high end ourselves until we got to these two, and now it's like, okay, I see the train's on the right tracks. We're going in the right direction.
And this one, I'm gonna give it a shout out real quick because it's got a really dope coat.
I love the way this coat came out, this Key to the Wire one. And just shout out to Stens from Absolute Horsepower, because during one of our early streams, if not the first one we did from the win, he gifted this one to us, and that was really cool of him. And
basically, it was like your left turf is embarrassing. I'm gonna send you something.
Yeah,
which was very helpful.
Email. Yeah, now, dude, it's produced an SS minus for us now. Thank you. So, yeah.
Any other of our, which by the way, this is also the first season where we've pretty much only generated S pluses. I mean,
yeah, the only, like, dude, the Oklahoma drill was a disappointment. Okay, that's a straight up down roll disappointment. The other two, the Hottest Biscuits one and the Chop Block one, I had a feeling we'd be hitting an S on those ones, but it was like good star. Like one was creating an LTF, the other one was another left turf with soft but with good stars. So it's like this is all pretty by design here to try and, you know, get decent quality over on that side. I would have preferred that Hottest Biscuits one being a Philly, but what can you do?
I'm excited for this Mona Lisa Smile one, right?
Yeah, that's with He's Ready to Gig. That's definitely got some potential. Like,
yeah, I'm always going to be excited for champion into champion. If you don't remember Mona Lisa Smile, I mean, you're not living, but it was again, it was finished third in the high court.
Yeah.
And finished 9th in the Gallop. So had a nice little 4th in the Oaks. Had a nice little career. So I'm excited for this. I feel like this is this is our first kid, but I think this is going to be a nice breeder piece for us, hopefully.
Yep, so do I.
All right, you wanna, before we show the race, should we give out some college football pro?
Yeah, dude.
Money line parlay.
I got a college football money line round robin again that I put together.
I was gonna say I got a suggestion. If we want to build one together, I have a suggestion. If not,
what's your suggestion?
Well, I think
I'm probably already on it.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay, because I wanted to get into this because I knew you were going to probably be in on them. But remember last week when I was saying the 25th ranked team is just a name brand fraud that is going to be a big favorite the next week, and they're going to get their ass handed to them. And then sure, when the poll came out Sunday, I'm sitting there waiting, and I check, and it's Michigan at 25. And I knew they were already playing the rivalry game against Michigan State in East Lansing that week. Plus 450. I was like, I am building my round robin around that this week. So that's exactly what I did, dude, in there. And so I found some other ones in there. It starts tonight, believe it or not. We've been seeing a lot of these big Friday night dogs hit lately, right?
Oh, you put Nevada in there?
We put Nevada in there at plus 1,000. Okay. This thing pays, dude. This thing, if all 4 legs hit, it pays like 700 to 1. Just FYI. So it's like 750 to 1, actually, something like that. Yeah, it's something wild. All right. So we like that. Our boy Colby is our ACC expert, and Patty C tipped him off years ago that the underdog always wins in the oldest rivalry in the South, Virginia, North Carolina. I know how you feel about Virginia. So we got North Carolina plus 310 in there. And then for our 4th leg, we're doing Mississippi State at home against Texas as a plus 220 dog.
Yeah. I think I already placed this. I think I've already placed.
You've already placed a version of this parlay, yeah.
So just to confirm, it's Michigan State, UNC, and Mississippi State, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I already got this. I'm looking at.
And then you throw Nevada plus 1,000 in there on the money line to round robin.
Okay, yeah. So that's the 4th.
Yeah. That's the 4th one. So you throw that in there for some serious juice. Because if that hits tonight. First off, just hitting because I already have it solo too, and I have it first half money line. So just hitting the first leg of that tonight will be so electric. But any one of those other 3 legs hit the next morning, oh, dude, we are cashing so huge.
Let's go. All right, good show, Bowser. Happy Fool's Day to everyone. Hope it was a good Fool's Day. Hope everyone's racing's going well. First week in the books. We'll be back probably a week from today. I think most likely the next show will be on Friday again. We'll let you know though. We don't have. I don't know if we've sorted out what our topic will be. I know we'll be mostly breeding. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
it'll be
squeeze
a
something
heavy
else
breed
in.
one. I'll be showing a lot more of the reports that we ran for this season coming up after, and what we're looking forward to do that on D-Day a week from this Monday.
Sweet. Let's.
Oh, wait, no, breeding starts this Monday, right? No.
Yeah, the next week. So the next week's show actually, we'll just cover breeding. We'll go over our studs. We'll go over what we plan to do. Bowser will give out his hidden gems as he always does. Uh, minimum horses who are certainly looking like a good deal.
And you saw
And
Italian herpes, one of these kind that produce Italian herpes producing for us, just like the old country.
yeah, and so once again, shout out to Third Time. Hop in, photo finish live. Use the code SGPN. Get your stable started today. Hit us up. We'll get you started with some horses. Hit us up in general if you're playing the game and you're just getting started. We have some horses to give away to small upstart stables. No big stables, small upstart stables. Hit us up. We'll help you get started, or we'll help what you already have going. And then, for next week, like Bowser said, big breeding episode. So a great time to start thinking about what you're going to do if you're interested in some blood packs.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have some great blood packs available this season. So,
always good to give us a heads up you're interested early. Although, as Bowser will tell you, wait till we get our stuff done, and then we'll get to you. Good luck with the bets this weekend. NFL, fuck the Eagles, Giants, Eagles. Look forward to that one. Jackson Dart's the man. Good luck with your bets. Good luck with your crazy money line parlay that I'm also on, Bowser. Good luck to everyone out there who's going to be betting on the games. Shout out to Bet Vibe Win, another Third Time. I saw that they're starting to spruce it up a little bit. I think you got to enter a whitelist now. So betvibe.win if you're interested there. And with that, I think we just closed the show with a little reliving of the season 29 Kentucky Derby. If you're new, this is what the game looks like. Bowser, great job. Look forward to talking to you next week. Look forward to all the breeding, and good luck on the racetrack for everyone.